Welcome to the shed of your average rider. This is my KTM 690 Enduro R 2019 model. It's had a bunch of mods and I've covered some of that on some other videos. Today what I'm going to do is fit a exhaust. I'm running the stock exhaust at the moment. I've bought an exhaust which I'll quickly show you in a minute, and basically it's just a cheapie off eBay, although I wouldn't want to say that about the company's product. It looks pretty well made. It cost about 280 bucks Australian, $35 delivery, comes from Poland, and it arrived in like 10 or 11 days. Now in this country, the Australia Post, if you bought something in Sydney and have it shipped over to Perth, where I live in Western Australia, it's going to take you like 14 days across the country for this. It's just ridiculous. So far the service was really good out of that crowd, and I'll show you the pipe in a sec, show you what we're going to do. It's not going to be a how-to video, how to actually do it all. I'll show some of the steps, but there's plenty of people better than me at wielding spanners, but I'll show you a little bit under the bike as we get to do the fitting, or any gotchas that I have while fitting, just in case you're interested in doing it, just to be what to be aware of. All right, let's get into the video. So here's the pipe. It's called a Dominator R. They make it's pretty much the same pipe, but they make it for different models. They include a link pipe to connect it up to the standard header. What you get in it is the actual exhaust itself, which this one's stainless steel. You can get titanium. You can get it with carbon fiber caps. But of course that all ups the price, and I was just looking for a low cost option just to throw on the bike, really just for a bit of sound. The bike's got tons of performance. I don't really need it for performance, but just wanted to see what it was like for sound, and just a little bit slimmer, maybe a little bit less heat, we'll see. Anyway, you also get the bracket and some mounting hardware to fit it up. So it should be okay. This one's got a DB killer in it as well, which I'll leave in. We'll do a bit of a sound test, and we may take it out. But again, I'm not looking for too much noise, just a little bit down the bottom. I don't want it too loud because I'm an old man, and old men don't like their hearing to go any worse than what they already are. All right. I weighed it before, and it was with the pipe, it was 2.2 kilos. So when I get the original off, we'll weigh that one and we'll compare the two. Now, to take the pipe off, there's some videos on how to do it, but it's not too difficult. Basically, pop the seat, take off the shroud or the heat guard, take this top cover off the seat, and then we should have access to the bolt which holds this on. We loosen off the header pipe, should just slide off, and we'll put the link pipe in and mount her up, and it should be good to go. So I'll show you when we get to that next stage. Look, while I'm here, I just thought I'd show you, I fitted the Raid garage auxiliary tank, which is another 5.5 litres, and this is normally the stock air cleaner, if you haven't seen the original. So you remove the stock air cleaner out, the tank goes where that goes, and then you get this little mini cleaner. Now, as you can see, I went on a really dirty, dusty ride. I've just washed the bike, and I've got this filter sock, and you can see the state of it. It's pretty filthy. I was about 10 or 12 bikes, and it was super dusty. But you pull this filter off, and you can see underneath that the filter's in pretty good shape. So all I really need to do is clean that, re-oil it, stick it back on the bike, and she should be sweet. So that filter's been on there for now about 1,500 Ks of road. Then I did about an 800-900 K sort of 50-50 road and dirt trip, but I was leading, so I wasn't too dusty. And then last week was just a couple of 100 Ks with a brand new clean sock, and you can see how filthy it is compared to what color it should be. So yeah, super impressed. Much easier to maintain than taking the stock covers off. So a handy little upgrade if you're thinking about doing it. So first thing, we'll do a quick little sound check on the exhaust before we start pulling everything apart. So I'm in my garage. It's going to sound a little beefier than what it would normally. Make sure I'm in neutral. Okay, so to get off the get access to the pipe, basically you just take the front panel off, side panel off, take the rear tank panel off, and all you need is an 8mm bolt here, which you just need to remove, and that hooks in underneath the plastic cover, tail cover. You've got a couple of Torx, T20 Torx for the actual metal shroud. You got to, just to make life a bit more interesting, a Torx 25, a T25 Torx for underneath the bottom here of the fairing, wherever the hell that bolts in, down here somewhere. And then you've just got like a large Phillips, which is a locating sort of screw for the fairing that has to come out. So you take out 1, 2, 3, then you can get that rear panel off. Then you've got the 2 Torx to take the shield off. And then now all you've got is, I think, an 8mm bolt here to loosen the clamp, which is what the connector pipe and exhaust will mount up to. And then you've got this 10mm bolt here, which is the bracket to mount the exhaust to the bike. So we'll take that off and then mount up the other one, and then I'll come back. Okay, so it's next day, and what we've learnt is, like with all budget items, it takes a little bit of tinkering and fiddling to get it to fit. So what we've discovered is, we this way, is that you can see how the bracket works with the original fixing point for the exhaust, and you can see that the weight is at the front. There is a shorter pipe. You can get a GP version, which is sort of 3/4 length, which probably would balance a bit better, but no doubt it'll be a hell of a lot noisier. What I found was this fixing point here, where you've got the flange and you've got this flange cap. There was a slight gap trying to get everything to line up. Took a little bit of lining up. You kind of had to keep everything on loose at the 3 fixing points. So you've got a bracket here with the link pipe. You've got this flange bracket, which is the original header pipe and the original bracket, and obviously this little bracket that you've got a little bit of adjustment with. And so you kind of had to fix all 3 points. You had to twist and fiddle to try and get this to line up. This pipe is not as wide as the header, so it reduces down, which left quite a bit of a gap. So I ended up getting some exhaust wrap, or I had some exhaust wrap that I used to just create a bit of a seal, because I was getting a little bit of exhaust escaping from this joint, nothing from here. This was fine. So that wasn't particularly good. So we've created a tighter seal here without any leaks, and then that way that just seals everything up. So we'll just give her a little bit of a start, and we'll check out what she sounds like. Right, we'll get her going here. Bloody keys. All right. All right, so I'll put the covers back on. I'll take her outside. She's, as you can tell, she's loud, sounds like a real thumper, but in the garage here, it's always going to sound a little bit louder than out in the open. So we'll sort this out, get it out in the open. We'll give her another start. I'll also take her for a test ride and see if there's anything noticeable in terms of performance. I doubt if there is. It rarely is with these things. Usually when you dyno them, there's almost no difference. Most of it's psychological because it sounds louder and it sounds faster, but we'll give it a go. Right, so that's the bike back together. Just thought I'd just show you how it fits in under the panel. You can see plenty of clearance there from the bracket into the fairing. So heat shouldn't be an issue. And you can also see the clearance to the exhaust. Not too bad, and the swing arm. So shouldn't be any issue with the fitting. Now the original pipe is here. Now I weighed that was 4.4 kilos. So approximately double the weight of the new pipe, even with the fixings. So yeah. Yeah, a little bit of weight saving in the back, never a bad thing, I guess. A couple of kilos off the back. Mind you, a few less pies by me, and that would probably save a few kilos too. But anyway, much easier to change the exhaust. Alrighty, we'll go give it a test ride and we'll check out the sound. Okay, so here we are, back from a bit of a ride. Outside test. Definitely got a much fatter sound down low. Thankfully on the bike it doesn't sound too much louder, so hopefully it won't get too fatiguing. So yeah, that's basically it. She's installed, doesn't feel like it's any worse. Certainly wouldn't say there's more power. Oh, by the way, new addition is the AXP skid plate. Shout out to Torimoto. She's got a channel as well as just released a new web shop and is stocking those in Australia for anybody who's interested. Nice piece of kit. Takes again a little bit of fiddling to get it to fit, but sits well on the bike. Plenty of protection. There's a few reviews of those, she much easier to get them from her than from the US if you're in Australia. So check out her web shop if you're interested. So that's it. Dominator R exhaust on the 690. Yeah, seems okay. We'll know when we go for a longer ride, but pretty happy with that for the money spent. Thanks very much. Catch you later.